Rome International Film Festival.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hello, Rome, Northwest Georgia, and folks listening across the globe on the internet. Hi, welcome to the first ever Riff podcast for the Rome International Film Festival in Rome, Georgia. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios on Broad Street, and we are sponsored by Manco Logistics Corporation. We work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio, and I will let Seth Ingram take it away from the Rome International Film Festival to introduce everybody else on the program.
Thank you, Roger, and welcome to the first ever Rome International Film Festival podcast. Excited to have this going on today. Today we've got in the studio here with us, we've got our co-creative director, Mr. Michael Dunaway.
What's up, Seth? How's it going?
You may recognize
that
Michael.
That pause was very troubling, crowd, okay?
So am I Romulus and you're Remus, or is it the other way around?
You can choose. You're the boss. You can choose which one you want.
We also have with us Riff associate producer, Miss Katie Weatherford.
Hello.
Woo!
Hi, Katie. How are you?
Great. How is everyone else?
And
we have Riff board president, the one and only Mr. Mark Van Leuven.
Woohoo!
Good evening, ladies and gents.
And the silence
reigns the room.
No, their crickets are again. Well, let's get going, guys. What's on the agenda here today? Let's talk
first,
Rome International Film Festival.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that intro?
It's a fantastic intro. What high-powered, high-priced PR firm did you use to get that, Seth?
I used, as some of you know, I'm also the division chair of film studies at Georgia Highlands College, and I had some of our wonderful students produce that intro, and they did such a great job. Mr. Justin Ford did all of the video edits there. Dame himself helped a little with that, and we also had a wonderful score produced by
Stephen Burris.
Stephen Burris, yes. So we got a great crew over there. They're helping with stuff with the film festival all the time, and they had fun with that.
If any of you have ever seen Veep, basically Seth is the Julia Dreyfus character, and Katie is the Tony Hale character. That's what goes on at Riff.
Wait, isn't somebody clueless on that show? So before you get going, I know y'all have an agenda. Just for those listening, when is Riff?
Riff is November 10th through the 13th, 2022. Passes are on sale now at riffga.com. We also have another event coming up, a little fundraiser event at Kingston Downs. We are going to be screening the Halloween, the 2018 version. We are going to have a band, and we're going to have food trucks at Kingston Downs, and that is October the 15th. And those tickets are on sale as well. So, yes.
And by the way, if you missed last year, you missed a lot of great films. You missed a lot of great parties. You missed hanging out with Billy Bob Thornton, who not only was a guest at the festival, but who hung out with everybody who wanted to hang out with him and answered tons of questions. And, you missed hanging out with Mario Van Peebles. You missed hanging out with the Nappy Roots. You missed hanging out with Ethan Embry. You missed, who am I leaving
Victoria.
out? Oh, Victoria Clark, exactly.
Don't forget Ethan's wife, Sunny Mabry.
That's Sunny May. That's right. That's right. Jasmine Guy came up to present the award to Mario Van Peebles. So
you missed hanging out with Seth Ingram.
Exactly. Most importantly would be April Ingram, but yes, Seth would be second most important.
Yes, and I want to give a quick plug to all the team that goes into producing Riff. It is we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so it's a labor of love. We have a board of directors that works tirelessly to help put this on. Miss Melissa Rutledge does all of our graphic design, and she's doing a great job. And we have Micah Pullen as our operations director, and he's doing a great job. All of our board members that are helping out. It takes a community, and what makes Riff so great is that Rome is the backdrop for the film festival. Rome is part of the film festival, so it's not like we're we're not a corporate style event. We blend into the town, and I think that what gives Riff part of its charm and part of the feel. Don't you think, Michael?
100%. You know, I have deep roots in this community. I did not grow up here, but my mother went to high school and graduated from West Rome High School back when it was West Rome.
Go Chieftains!
My father grew up his entire childhood in Rockmart, Georgia. So I grew up being in this region all the time. I'm a native Georgian, and when I had the opportunity to come and join Seth's team along with my partner Lewis Black, the founder of South by Southwest, I just jumped at it with how much the film industry has grown in Georgia, with my own belief in Georgia and the Georgia film industry. You know, I had been doing film festivals for years, including at Sarasota Film Festival, which is a top 10 film festival in the country. And it was just really exciting, especially being friends with Seth, to be able to come and join the team and be a part of helping make Riff even bigger and better. So we want every year to build on the year before. And we don't have any announcements today about celebrity guests, but they will be coming in future episodes.
Yes, we will be, and hopefully having guests on the podcast as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, and this, just to remind folks, this will be a monthly thing. So year-round to celebrate Riff and let people know what's going on, and we're excited that this is the first, and I know you guys had some Q&A for each other or something. I'll just sit up and listen. Shut up and listen.
Seth, why don't you, I have a question for you. Can I start out?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Why don't you, since you've been at Riff for much, much longer than I have, why don't you tell me about how you got when and how you got involved, how and why you got involved with Riff?
All right. Well, I was, for many years when Riff first started, I was just a volunteer, and I would come to the festival, and I was excited that Rome had a film festival. And in the year 2013, I had made a documentary, and it played at at Riff at the DeSoto Theater, and we had a very large crowd. It was a documentary about a infamous bootlegger from the area, a local history doc. And after that played, I was at the after party, and Ryan Simmons, who had been the director for the previous 3 years, was leaving. So the board kind of cornered me and said, "Hey, we think you should be the director of the film festival next year." And I told them no. At that time, I was headed to LA to produce a TV show, and I didn't know how I was going to fit that in and balance my life as it was. So then they invited me to a party at Shay Griffin's house, and then the board president, Randy Quick, they cornered me again and said, "We really think that you should be to run this festival. We need you to do this." And I finally relented and said, "Okay." And I didn't know anything about running a film festival. I had only been to a handful at the time. So my first job at a festival was executive director, outside of being a volunteer. So, I got to learn, and I had a great board at the time that kind of, supported us, and we worked together and figured a lot of things out. And over the last 8 years of doing it, I've continued to figure things out. And then I've attended a ton of film festivals, and, we try to implement the best things that we see. We work with the Film Festival Alliance and Film Impact Georgia and all these great organizations that, are resources for us and give us ideas and staff. And we've had a lot of great directors come in that have helped us out from the Atlanta Film Festival and other places. And so it's been a learning experience. But I think that we know what we're doing now. We've matured. So this is their 19th year, and I've been director of the festival since 2015.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So tell me a little bit about your experience in the film industry and in the film festival world.
Oh, let's see. Gosh, in the film festival world, it's actually not a completely different story from yours. I had been going for several years as I was a journalist. I was the film editor for Paste magazine in Atlanta, 9 million unique monthly readers. I am now the editor at large for Paste, but at the time I was the film editor for Paste, and at Sundance one year I met Tom Hall, who was the legendary at that time director of the Sarasota Film Festival.
Not Tom T. Hall.
Not Tom T. Hall. No, Festival Tom Hall. He now runs the Montclair Film Festival. But we became friends, and he invited me a couple of times down to the Sarasota Film Festival, once as a juror, once as covering press, once to do some interviews. And when Tom moved on to Montclair, he recommended me to the board to be the new creative director, which was insane because, like you, I had never been involved in a film festival officially. So my first job in the festival world was running a top 10 film festival. It was crazy. But Mike, and then I ended up leaving Sarasota and going to help my buddy Josh Leake build up the Portland Film Festival, and then coming here to Rome to help another buddy with another wonderful regional festival.
And the way that Michael came in to tell us about, so Lewis Black, who is the co-creator of South by Southwest, and you were looking for a film festival to start in Georgia potentially, and I said, why would you start something when we could just do it here in Rome? And so Lewis came to town and kind of recognized what all the town had to offer. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Lewis, who will be a guest on a future episode, Lewis is just a legend in not even the festival world. Lewis is a legend in the film world. He was the co-founder of South by Southwest, which is obviously one of the biggest, most important festivals in the country. He also was the co-founder with Richard Linklater of the Austin Film Society. He also was the co-founder of the Austin Chronicle, which is technically it is the alternative newspaper in Austin, but it's actually as widely read as the I think it's a Statesman is the traditional paper there. But the Austin Chronicle is an utter force in Austin and in Texas. And there's one and the Texas Hall of Fame. He was also the co-founder of Texas Film Hall of Fame. He was also the co-founder of. So Lewis is just an utter powerhouse, and I am very proud that he is one of my mentors and my business partner.
And so when Lewis came to Rome in looking to do a festival in Georgia, part of what we talked about was having a film festival that builds up indigenous filmmakers, indigenous filmmakers. And I don't know that there's a signature film festival in the state that completely qualifies that. So we're trying to build a culture around filmmaking and filmmakers from Georgia and support them. And that's where we really want to take the festival so that, we have had a ton of filmmakers from Georgia that have came to the festival who have gone on to have fantastic careers and are directing, major feature films and TV shows. And, so we want to support them and be an ally to them. So that's part of what we want to do. We also want to showcase the town. We are, I think that we are an economic development engine for the town as well. Lots of opportunities in the film industry for current businesses and companies in the town to cater toward the film industry. So we try to connect the existing industry here and teach them how to brand themselves. And we are sort of a film commission of sorts. We've played that role a little bit. So
I want to throw in, first of all, that we have some major announcements coming out about how we're going to be supporting Georgia filmmakers and the Georgia film industry going forward. So keep your eye on or your ears on this space to hear some really exciting news. And on the Rome front as well. So I also want to say that for the listeners, when I said Lewis Black, there are two Lewis Blacks. I'm not talking about the comedian. I'm talking about the Austin, Texas Lewis Black, who was the co-founder of all those things. Basically, the reason why Austin, Texas he would hate if he was next to me with me saying this, but basically the reason Austin, Texas is the cultural mecca that it is today is basically Richard Linklater and Lewis Black. So.
Yeah, and we're fortunate to have him working on our team here and advising us.
Indeed. Well, should we go to the part of the program now where we're going to have Katie ask us some questions and maybe make fun of us?
Well,
yeah. Or are there other things you wanted to do?
Can I make fun of you too? Or
no one but Katie. Yeah, no, of course. People always make fun of me. It's fine. Were there other things, Seth, that you wanted to cover first?
I think we're just... Whatever you got. What do you got for us?
So
Katie?
This is going to be the fun portion of the program where Katie has some questions she wants to ask, and Seth and I will answer as best we can, and then we'll be possibly mocked.
All right, let's start then. So my first question for you is, what is your craziest film festival moment?
Oh, Lord. There's quite a few of them. I'm going to give two examples here. I think it was 2017 or 2018, and we were at Sundance Film Festival, and we were just walking right in front of the Egyptian Theater, walking up the street. I was walking up the hill in the snow, I was looking down, trying not to make sure I didn't step on some ice and slip. And as I'm walking, I run into someone, and I look up, and I physically ran into Hillary Clinton coming out of the theater. And I was surprised that armed people didn't tackle me, and I was... So I just said hello there, something. I don't even remember what I said, and then we both made eye contact, and then she quickly walked away. But I actually nearly knocked Hillary Clinton to the ground in Sundance one time, and then a second time was in 2017. I don't know if I want to tell this story or not. We had
well, we can edit it.
Yeah.
This is live to tape, baby.
Wink, wink.
So we were fortunate enough. We had just produced a film, or there was a film just produced in Tennessee, starring Burt Reynolds. We brought Burt Reynolds in as a guest, and the film was entitled Dog Years. It's now called The Last Movie Star. And if you haven't seen that film, I strongly recommend you go see it. It's out on most of your streaming platforms these days. But Burt was here in town, and we flew him in on a private airplane. He got off of the plane. Apparently, he hates flying. He hated flying, and so he
prefers to drive a Trans Am.
Yes, exactly. So he got off of the plane, and I'd met Burt once previously, but just in passing. He didn't really know me, but he got off the plane, stumbled coming out of the door there. I kind of caught him as he was coming out, and he pushed his glasses over his nose and looked up at me, and he said, "Are you my son?" I thought, I don't think so, but there's a chance. But
well, you do love movies.
But yeah, so from that point forward, he called me son and treated me like a son, which was kind of cool. So that was a great experience, and then just getting to know him is obviously at the latter part of his life, and we got really close. And anyway, just he was a wonderful, wonderful person to us, and that's kind of a neat experience. The other. And he was so good to us when he was in Rome. He was still Burt Reynolds, and there was crazy fans trying to get at him of all ages. He still had his swagger, so to speak. I
believe some trivia here. I believe he was the biggest box office star for 5 consecutive years in the 1970s.
That's right. Yeah. So he was a. We could have a whole episode about Burt Reynolds,
and we should,
because
he probably will.
He is probably considered the godfather of the Georgia film industry as well. Him and Jimmy Carter worked together for Deliverance to create the Georgia Film Commission, which celebrates its 50th anniversary next year. Wow. Anyway, Burt Reynolds, that's one of my craziest stories. I've got many other stories about Burt Reynolds, but I'll save them for another time.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this could become a running segment. Like every episode, Michael and Seth tell another crazy film festival story.
Well, go ahead. Do you have one?
Yeah, I think the one I want to tell this time, it's a 2-parter, and only part 1 happens at a film festival, but I'm going to cheat it just because part 2 is so good. So part 1 is that at the Sundance Film Festival a few years ago, I saw this documentary, which many of you may have seen by now, called Muscle Shoals. But this was, of course, the first time I was seeing the light of day, and I got to be friends with the director, who's still a friend of mine, Freddie Camilleri, great guy. And he introduced me to, Percy Sledge and all these great Muscle Shoals artists who were playing at Sundance. Greg Allman could not make it, but he introduced me to Greg at a concert later, and I had met Greg a couple of times being a Macon guy. But anyway, I met all these amazing musicians right through Freddie at Sundance, and I'm a musician myself and a big music fan, and that was just it was insane. It was insane meeting these legends, right? So then, fast forward to a couple of months later, and they're having the public premiere of the movie. It's in New York, and Freddie asked me if I'll fly up, and of course I came up. And good friend of mine named Natalia Livingston, wonderful actress, Emmy Award-winning actress, actually. She's a dear friend of mine. I was actually her 11th grade English teacher. That's how we got to know each other. And so she was living in New York at the time. So I brought Natalia with me. As you might expect, being a young soap star, she's completely gorgeous, so it was like perfect friend/arm candy, to be on the red carpet. It was great. And so we walked down the red carpet, and normally no one would take a red carpet photo of me, of course, but because Natalia's with me, click, 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 lots of clicks going off, right? And right behind us, the actor Michael Shannon is going down the red carpet.
A great actor,
wonderful actor.
Yeah.
And I had met Michael a couple of times. We're not big buddies, but he knows who I am. So Natalia and I paused at the end of the red carpet and waited for Michael. Michael came, and we said hello again, and he was kind of distracted looking back at the red carpet while we were talking, and I was like, what's going on? Percy Sledge is coming down the red carpet. Michael Shannon says, "Is that Percy Sledge?" He was just awed. "Is that Percy Sledge?" And I got the chance. This is crazy. I got the chance to say, "Yeah, that's. Do you want me to introduce you to Percy Sledge?" And he looked at me like I was, the president, and he said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." And so Percy comes on. I'm like, "Percy," the late Percy Sledge, bless his sweet soul.
Oh, that's when a man loves a woman.
Yeah. I'm like, "Percy, what's up? I want you to meet my friend Michael Shannon. He's an amazing actor." He says, "I know who he is." I said, "Good. Shake his," and so we got a picture of me and Natalia and Michael Shannon and Percy Sledge. So that was the night that I felt like I was the mayor. Introducing Michael Shannon and Percy Sledge.
Phil, I need to name drop here. Nothing to do with film festivals, but your Hillary Clinton story, Seth. I'm at the Super Bowl. I worked in TV sports in Atlanta. I'm at the Super Bowl in L.A. in the early to mid '90s, and my cameraman and I are walking through the crowd to get into the stadium, and I literally bumped into full force with John Travolta. he was holding hands with his wife, Kelly Preston. I was like, "Oh, I am so sorry." And then it took me a second. And he says to Kelly, "Man, it's crowded." And they disappeared into the crowd again. But I mean, Danny Zuko, I bumped right into.
Did you say, "Wow, that was so weird"?
No, I told him I had chills. They were multiplying. Anyway, I digress. Back to Katie's questions for you guys.
Well, that is a great little segue into what is your most famous celebrity that you have met at a film festival?
Oh, it's hard to top Burt.
Yeah,
maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Well, yeah, I guess I met Ron Howard several times. I ran into him at a screening at Slam Dance Film Festival, which takes place in Park City during the same time frame as Sundance. Not really. I guess he's an actor, but that was kind of cool just seeing him off the cuff. I don't know who you got, Michael. I know you've met a lot more people than I have.
Well,
what about Will Ferrell? Did you meet Will Ferrell once?
Well, we ran into Will Ferrell. I mean, when you're at Sundance, you see everybody, but until you actually get to meet somebody and talk to them, it's a different experience. But I mean, I don't know. I don't go to the festivals mostly for the celebrities, but it's cool when you run into them, and it's really cool when they turn out to be nice people.
Did Ron Howard ask you if you were his son?
No, that didn't happen. But it was just interesting seeing him in his natural habitat. And when you run in, you celebrities are always put on a pedestal, and you think that they're I think Billy Bob Thornton was pretty cool. I'm a huge fan of Billy Bob Thornton, so to have him here and now to be friendly with him, that's really cool to me. Cool experience. Mario Van Peebles is the same way. Everybody I encounter, I have a friend, Don Duckworth, who says I collect people, and by that I think that it's just I don't let go of anyone. I try to maintain all my friendships. So if I meet you, I try to stay friends with you.
Seth's really great at that. He's really great at following up with people and staying in touch. And I never cease to be amazed when I say, like with Billy, I texted with Billy a couple of months ago. He's like, "Yeah, Billy and I text, a couple of times a week," or whatever it is. I'm making that up, but it's he's really good at that. Staying in touch and making people feel appreciated and that kind of thing.
I think that's part of the Riff charm is we are genuine, and we're not here to be. There's a word I was going to use I probably shouldn't say on the air. It starts with an S, first word, and the second word starts with an F. But I don't know if you can think about that for a minute. But anyway, we're not about the celebrities, and that's it's cool when you have them, and it attracts people that wouldn't otherwise come to the festival. But it's not like the part I love about festivals is the new work and the filmmakers and the communities coming together. And so the celebrities are nice, but I know that's got off subject just a little bit there. But,
I agree. I think there's a real line to be walked, a real balance to be kept, because I'm with you. I am as I'm all about finding great films to bring into the community, and that's the primary goal. And we also understand that bringing celebrities out brings the crowd out, so there's a little bit of, and look, the other thing is that I've been fortunate and you've been fortunate in our film festival careers that I won't call any names. Should I call any names? I'll go ridiculous and say it's not like Maybe I shouldn't call it. It's not like we're bringing in Paris Hilton for the film festival. We're likely not ever to get Paris, so I'm not worried about offending her. We're bringing in people that are, like Billy Bob Thornton and Mario Van Peebles, who are celebrities but are also incredible artists.
Yeah, and we try to keep it tied to Georgia cinema as well as much as you can, or at least regional.
Sure.
So we try to bring in people who have produced films here or are from here. First we kind of give them, not exclusively, but we'll celebrate art from all around the world. But we love to support our regional audience.
Billy Bob's body of work. I'm not as familiar with Mario Van Peebles, but because I guess he's more of a behind the scenes. But I mean, Billy Bob is awesome. I mean, he can emote and run a gamut of characters he can play. I mean, he's awesome. I can't wait to hopefully have him on the podcast. And
for my answer to the celebrity question, I'm going to not count people that I have interviewed at film festivals because then the list would be very, very long. I will just say this, that I do seem to have this penchant for starting to build actual outside the industry friendships with people that then subsequently become incredibly famous and we never get to talk anymore. So the first time this happened to me...
great. We just met. So maybe this is...
and especially superheroes, by the way. So the first time this happened to me was with Mark Ruffalo. And Mark and I, for about a year, got to be, pretty decent friends, and then of course he became the Hulk, and now I get to talk to him every couple of years. That is not a complaint against Mark. That's just what happens when you become a superhero. The same thing happened. I met Jason Momoa just before he was cast as Aquaman. I met Lizzie Olsen a couple of years before she was cast as Scarlet Witch. I met Brie Larson a few years before she got cast as Captain Marvel. It's incredible. Like, I should put this in my resume so that I can get interviews with people who hope to become superheroes.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I might be the next superhero.
I can see that.
It's obvious you're close because most people know the actress as Elizabeth Olsen, but you called her Lizzie.
Me and Lizzie, we're tight.
It's like I didn't know there was another Olsen until she popped. They're Olsen twins, and then there was another one.
I call her the best Olsen.
Okay.
All right.
Next question.
So what?
Wait, Katie, if you were a superhero, what superhero would you be?
Like a superhero that already exists, or what my power would be?
Either.
So my power would be manipulation of the elements, all of the elements.
Love that.
Manipulation of people.
Yeah.
No, she could do that already. Manipulation of all the elements.
There should be
I love
a superhero sociopath. That'd be an interesting.
Nice.
Wow, are we pitching? Are we pitching ideas now?
Oh, this you'll see in future episodes. It's a running thing. That and band names.
That's
yeah. All right, Katie, what else we got?
All right. So we're the riff people. So what's your favorite riff memory?
Hey, let's throw that one to Mark. Mark, what's your favorite riff memory?
Oh, boy, there's so many. I can't even think about where to start. I guess my favorite memory with riff is really just getting together with with like-minded souls. It's very general. I mean, again, as you were saying, having celebrities it's a nice, for lack of a better term, gimmick. I mean, it brings people out, and it's exciting. But to get together with like-minded artists, filmmakers, musicians, celebrating the craft of filmmaking, people that have got budding projects, people who might be in the nadir of their career. It's almost alliterative, isn't it? You being an English teacher, Michael.
But I've got to Google nadir.
Yeah, it's it's that the whole experience is what I enjoy. I mean, my interest in film started when I lived out in Arizona. I worked at Old Tucson Movie Studios as a volunteer, and I was one of Jack Palance's PAs, and that kind of made an impression on me, not because it's Jack Palance. Well, yes, because Jack Palance, certainly he was Jack Palance. But
confidence is very sexy.
Yeah, and it was 1 week before he did the one-arm push-ups at the Oscars that I met him. He was filming a pilot with Brooke Shields, who Brooke Shields have no desire to have her invited here because bit of a diva, as one might expect. Jack
Shots fired. I guess now we're not ever going to have her here.
I guess there goes there goes the 40th anniversary of the Blue Lagoon.
You heard it.
Let me delete that invitation from the email.
You know what? You can quote me in a veil riff of it. You can quote me on that. Jack Palance spoke 6 languages, and speaking to that commercial confidence is sexy. very quiet, socially phobic individual, but extraordinarily nice, extraordinarily down to earth. And even himself said, I've never really lost my connection with the Rust Belt because he was quite literally the son of a coal miner. But yet, the presence he had on screen completely different from the way he was in real life. And that kind of made an impression on me because really it comes down to it. Actors, actresses, I mean, they're people. And they just, some make it big, some don't. And coming here to Rome offers them a really good, safe space. And to circle back to the question that you deferred to me, Seth, that's one of the reasons I like Riff is because we do offer a safe space for folks in a hometown environment for them to not be, I guess, inundated by this massive humanity that just want to come out and get an autograph.
I think it's understood that we're not a con of sorts.
Exactly.
Where you're going to. We want the celebrities to feel comfortable and blend in if they do show up. So a lot of them we have celebrities show up that don't even tell us they're coming, and that's kind of neat when they're just there and we're like, oh, I didn't know you were here. Thanks for coming. And then they hang out and at the after party and
what I was initially going to say about my favorite Riff memory was actually right in line with that, which was last year. I loved that Billy and Mario both came, but even more than that, I loved seeing them stay and seeing them not hang out in their hotel room, but seeing them be, when we did Mario's In Conversation, which was incredible. Everybody walked out of there so inspired. And then for Billy's conversation, which was the next day, Mario was literally front and center taking notes of things that Billy said. Like Mario is just, they're both such dear souls and they're both true artists, those two. It's amazing. It's incredible. But then I realized that I actually have another that has to be my favorite Riff memory, which is that 12 years ago, when I made my very first short film, it's called Bread, and the very first festival that it played, this is when Harry Musselwhite was the director, very first festival it played was the Rome International Film Festival, and it won Best Short at the Rome International Film Festival. And I still remember Harry saying from the podium,
I learned something new.
When Harry announced it, I still remember him saying from the podium, and the winner for Best Short, and he turns to me on mic and says, and Michael, just so you know, this doesn't happen every time. It is Bread by Michael Dunaway.
I can hear him saying that.
Well, we both have that in common. We both had a film play at Riff before we were involved with Riff. So I think that says a lot about what we think about the festival here. So yeah, and I don't know who's having a film in it this year that's going to be the future director.
Yeah, there you go.
Already planning your exit strategy.
Next year's our 20th anniversary, and I've kind of told our board that I'll stick around in some capacity till then. But no, we always are, as we build this organization. It takes a lot of people to pull this off, so we are looking for future leaders. We've had so many great people that have helped us out. Cameron McAllister was huge when he was here to help us out. Melissa Simpson. We've had a lot of great people come in and help since I've been around, and then the previous directors are still huge supporters as well. So hopefully we'll have them all here for our 20th anniversary.
But absolutely, if anyone listening is interested in getting involved in any capacity, as a volunteer, as a staff member, as whatever it is, I can tell you it's an organization that is very fun to get involved with, very easy to get involved with. It's easy to rise up very quickly if you want to do that. If you want to be in a position of leadership and you come and you're competent and you're energetic and you're not a jerk, I'm cleaning up the language a little bit. No jerks policy. It's a great organization to come be a part of. And so Seth, how should they contact someone or Katie, how should they contact someone to become a part of Riff?
So to get involved this year, if you go to our website, there is a volunteers tab. I think it's under Get Involved.
Yeah, riffga.com. That's RIFF, the letter G, the letter A, as in Georgia.com.
Yes.
And then, Katie, is there anything else that they can do on that website? Is there can they buy tickets and passes at the website? I don't even know that. I don't even know the answer. It's not a leading question.
You can buy tickets to all of the events. You can buy tickets to the soonest one right now.
And follow us on social at Rome Film. Mm-hmm. And the website is riffga.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and tickets are on sale for all the events. For the passes are on sale. Individual tickets are not on sale yet, but they will be as soon as we get the schedule announced and up in the coming months. So be on the lookout for a lot of press release pointing to what those films are going to be.
And I'll add to that point, this is an excellent time for anyone. If you've got passion, if you've got the energy, if you've got the love of anything remotely having to do with the art of film and filmmaking, or just filmmakers, the people that make this magic happen, this is a great time to get involved with RIF. Next year is a big event. It's RIF 20, RIF XX, whatever you want to call it. And we absolutely need all hands on deck to make this big, to make this huge. Doesn't take much, folks. Just takes that, just sounds like fundraising for NPR, I guess. Just takes that simple call. Just, contact Katie, contact me, and we'll make it happen for you.
Yeah. So, I think this has been a great first introductory. Do you have something else, Troy?
Yeah, I was going to say, what can we expect in the months to come on the podcast? Just more, actually, as RIF itself approaches. I know we'll be getting some announcements of attendees and things.
But. Yeah, well, we're going to try to have special guests on every future episode. It's great to have our first one here.
Without saying that they've been confirmed, why don't we throw out a few names of people that are friends and we're pretty sure are going to come on?
All right. Well, obviously Lewis Black. Obviously, Billy Bob Thornton.
Mario Van Peebles. My buddy Aisha Tyler, fan favorite, is sure to come on. Carrie Preston. I grew up with Carrie Preston. She's a very dear friend of mine.
And we'll try to get Ethan and Sonny, Embry and Sonny Mabry on the fest. Friends of RIF will obviously have an option. We just produced a film, Michael and I, that shot in Rome, and had starred Dermot Mulroney. So we'll try to
Dermot will be on for sure.
Wow.
Also starred the late Anne Heche, her last movie role.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that film will be released sometime this spring. We're still waiting on the news from that. We had also shot another film that produced last year that's coming out called Spirit Halloween that I happen to have a role in. So maybe we'll get some of the people from that on.
And Roger, I'll work on trying to get my buddy Lizzie to come on too, just for you.
Yeah. Obviously, we'd love to have anybody on. So I mean, we're who knows? The world is our oyster.
Well, one of the things I want to make sure we touch on a future episode is you guys kind of both joined in. How did you get involved with RIF? This is a tease. We don't have to do it today. Well, you were already in mid-career when you got involved with RIF. How do you guys get in the career? So I'm just teasing down the road.
Yeah, that's great for
we will talk about the industry a lot. So we'll probably be 100%. Episodes focused just on the film industry. And the film festival is a great way to get involved in the industry. I tell my students it's the best way to get involved in the industry. A lot of times you can bypass a lot of steps that you would normally go through in the industry if you go to a film festival and meet the right person and have the right conversation or sit at the right panel and learn the right thing.
Okay, don't give too much of your answer.
Yeah.
You're going to defeat the tease here, Seth.
All right, sorry.
Well, this has been great. What did the audience think?
Thanks, guys. You've been great, guys.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for listening. This has been the first RIF podcast, many more to come, celebrating the Rome International Film Festival, which takes place in Rome, Georgia,
November 10th through the 13th this year, 2022.
And we'd love to have you come. Check it out. It's a great little town. Lots of restaurants, hotels. Come and explore our fine city and see a bunch of quality films. And
come meet Katie.
yeah. Come meet Katie and Seth and the whole Hee Haw gang.
Yeah, I'll be running around putting out fires during the festival. So everyone wants to come and have meetings. They think that I'm going to be very, very accessible that weekend. It's usually not the case, but we would still love to see your face at RIF. So please come out. We want to fill these seats every year, every screening. I want them full. I'm not happy until they're all full.
And awesome. Of course, we want to thank our sponsor for this show, which is a local business, Manco Logistics. They are freight brokers, so they move freight all across the country, and you can check them out at mancolog.com. Our studio partner is Hardy Realty. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty space on Broad Street in downtown Rome, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I'm Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio, speaking for the RIF podcast here. Thank you so much for listening.